And welcome as we take a ride today, riding with the king on the Howard Eskin Show. Yes, you're going to take a ride. It's me, you, Marc Lawrence will join us. Uh, got, a few things to talk about. Obviously, the Eagles. Uh, Sixers had media day. I don't even know why I waste my time talking about the Sixers, but I'll touch on it. I'll touch on it a little bit. Uh, uh, the problem that baseball is going into. Um, I don't know what baseball's doing, but we'll talk about that. I do know what baseball's doing, and it's not good, in my opinion. Of course, um, one of the nicest fans um, in baseball, and we're going to touch on that if you care about the fans. And we are carrying over our prize. But before we get to that, from the last show, because I was so enthralled and had so many good things to talk about with James Brown on our last show that I neglected uh, to give you a question for the prize. I did on the replay on a little segment, but if you didn't see the replay, you didn't see the question. So uh, we'll give that question again. But whatever. Let me just tell you how important our presenting sponsor is, and that would be Stillwell Financial Advisors. Important for you. Obviously, it's important for me because we've created a great partnership, but it's important for you as well because this guy really knows his stuff. And the changing times and the changing financial things that go on in this country, you need somebody that really knows what they're doing. And that's Jeff Stillwell. Give him a call, 732-343-0813. Stillwell Financial Advisors. All right. We will have the question again from the last show with which James Brown, because that was my fault. I just got so caught up in everything. We went longer than we normally go. I was so caught up in everything he said that I forgot to give you the question, and I did on a replay. But that's if you didn't watch the replay, which was the next night because we did it on Tuesday. But next Wednesday we'll be back to our normal schedule. We'll talk about the Sixers today. We'll talk about. I just don't like the direction that baseball is headed. Baseball in general is headed, and I know they try. You can't change the game. There's 3 outs. There's 3 strikes. There's 4 balls for a walk. You, they tried to speed up the game. It did a little bit, but you still have too many lulls. For instance, when the Phillies score 1 run in a game in the first inning the other night, and the rest of the game you have no runs. How exciting can that game be? Because pitchers' duels don't really exist anymore, but we'll talk about that in a little while. Marc Lawrence will join us shortly, but this shows me and you. So let me just show you. Uh, it's easy to join the show. You connect to the link, which is posted, and it really is. It really is pretty easy. You see that graphic there. If you don't see it and you hear it, uh, allow the microphone and the camera. Now, the icon should not be red, but if you don't want the camera, you can click off the camera. If you just want to talk to me, that's fine too. So it really is. I think it's really pretty simple. And like I said, you have the link. Uh, uh, Somebody said, Larry said he turned off the sound to the Ryder Cup to listen to me. Well, it's better to listen to me. The Ryder Cup still got a couple of days left. So it's all good. Uh, no worries about the question. Uh, uh, Patty H, the JB interview was great. Uh, and she said the same thing I said. Do we have to talk about the Sixers? You don't, but I'm not putting it out there. I'm telling you that media day was the biggest waste of time. It's filler. It's filler for social media. It's filler for the people that cover the Sixers. It's filler, but we'll get into that. So, like I said, if you want to join, it's fine, and we'll talk. We'll talk, and it'll be me and you, and I'll give you the question in a little while, maybe right before Marc Lawrence or right after Marc Lawrence, but it's from the last show. So if you didn't listen to the last show, and you can always go back and listen to it on our social media platforms, and you can listen to it. And you can listen to it and come up because it's all there. It's easy on YouTube too. I see, and the Phillies are playing. But there's so many bad teams in baseball. The schedule. How do you schedule an American League team to end your season? Don't you want to have some kind of energy? Like if they had the Mets on the last weekend of the season, the Mets are fighting for a playoff spot. It would have been good to have that energy, but the schedule screwed up. There's so many things screwed up. But the Phillies got a bye. Did anybody have a question that the Phillies were going to get a bye this season? I don't think there was a question because they had a better record than LA. So I see Dale. I guess it's Wheeler. Oh no, the Phillies got a bye. Season's over. The teams with the buys, history has shown that a team with the bye doesn't really do that well. I see somebody else with a comment. It's really a bad schedule, and it really is a bad schedule. At baseball, I don't know what they're doing. Uh, 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 I see somebody ask me, will Kyle Schwarber tie or pass Ryan Howard? You know what? Individual records, and it's nice that Kyle Schwarber's got 50 some home runs, 55, 50, 56 home runs. Too many home runs in baseball. And we're going to talk about that later. Way too many home runs. It's not, it's almost commonplace anymore. Will he tie or pass Ryan? I don't really care. It's not about tying or passing anybody. It's about being ready. It's about being ready for the postseason. And uh, uh, the bye is not a good thing. Somebody else asked me, Al, the accordionist, uh, whether Penn State will win today. Penn State has one of the worst coaches in college football. We'll ask. I don't think. As a matter of fact, I know Marc Lawrence is not a fan of James Franklin, and we'll get to Mark in a minute or so. It's just he's top 10 teams. He's 1-10. Top 5 teams. I think he's 1-18. But Marc Lawrence will have all those numbers. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Eagles. We are going to talk about the Eagles. And I see that Denny C. Uh, I kind of flip flop. I was worried about last week's game against LA, but I kind of flip flop on this game tomorrow. But I know Mark's got an opinion on it. But I think the Eagles made a mistake. I think the Eagles made a mistake. And the reason they made a mistake is they went to Tampa early. They went on Friday. They changed their routine. You don't change your routine. Players are creatures of habit. Uh, Creatures of habit. You don't change your routine because they wanted to get used to the climate. Well, in Philadelphia, it's been 80 to and some days 90 degrees with humidity. It's almost no different than Tampa. Sports science people say, oh, you change. But here's contradicts part of that sports science. Jet lag, according to sports science, is 2 days after the flight. so, uh, so then jet lag for the Eagles would be on game day. Sometimes people overthink things. Like, what did you need to go early for? I see somebody else Chris, uh, Oregon by double digits. If they win by double digits, they had to take, with all those white towels, they had to take James Franklin and grab him by the wrist and drag him out of state college. Drag him. I'm not saying there should be any violence, but just ask. Well, at first, ask him to go nicely. Yeah, it just ask him to go nicely. All right. Um, and, and I see Dale is Gardner Johnson a problem. They don't want Gardner Johnson. He is a problem. He is a problem. He is a problem. But the Eagles, I don't know why they left early. I don't know why they left early just to get acclimated to the temperatures when the temperatures here are good. Eagles defense has got to be better. Todd Bowles always does a good job against the Eagles. And people have to stop complaining about the offensive coordinator. It's if the players make plays or the players don't make plays. It's as simple as that. All right, before we go, you know, before we go to Marc Lawrence, I guess is Cowboy Jim there, Joe? Oh, he left. Oh, okay. Well, that's good because because I was going to bury the Cowboys, which are it's what, it's too easy. It's too easy to bury the Cowboys. All right. First of all, let me tell you about the other great people that are part of this program, and one of those people and one of those fine people would be Audi Westchester. Audi Westchester, and I'm telling you, if you snooze, you lose. You've heard the term. He who hesitates is lost. I stopped over there yesterday, and there was a customer there, and they were working on get him an electric vehicle. And I said, if you hesitate, he who hesitates is lost. I said, how long have you been thinking about getting the electric car with this deal at Audi and on the Q6 and the Q4? He says, oh, I says, weeks, right? He says, yeah. You waited, and now the inventory is really thin for the car you want. But if you want, you have until next Tuesday for this deal. The Q6 2025 Audi Q6, $499 a month, or the Audi Q4 for $399 a month. You'll need $5,295 down for the Q6, $4,156 down for the Q4, plus taxes and registration fees. Audi Westchester, you'll have fun, grab a cup of coffee, grab some snacks, talk to the people, look at the vehicles. But this deal won't come up again. I just can't see this. And Tuesday, it's over. So if you were thinking about it, 1421 Wilmington Pike is the location. 1421 Wilmington Pike, 2025 Audi Q6, $499 a month, or the Q4, $399 a month. Check it all out. Audi, I'm telling you, I met some really nice people there too. Really nice people. It's just you'll enjoy the trip over there. Check them out, AudiWestchester.com. And you want to make sure your property is as good as it can be when you have guests over. Well, guess what? You can do that with Piazza Property Pros. 25 years of experience, and they don't subcontract, which is really, really important that they don't. It's really important. So you get their people. You know it's going to be really good work, whether it's landscaping, whether it's pool maintenance, whether it's building a pool, and you hesitated with that. Nah, I want to do it. Well, give them a call. Fencing, whatever you need to do with your property, and you saw how nice they can make a property for you. Give them a call. They'll work within your budget. Here's the number: 610 566 2608. 610 566 2608. Schedule a free consultation. And not every consultation by companies is free. Schedule a free consultation. Check them out on their website, piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. Before we go to Marc Lawrence, let's give it's time for me to just beat the living daylights, not literally, out of a real dope, and that would be Cowboy Jim. You are such a clown and such a dope. Uh, You don't have any audio. You muted. You're muted, you
All
moron.
right, I got it. All right, all right. I don't know how that happened.
Well, I do because you're a dope.
Down here in Tampa again. Who makes these NFL schedules? Come
Well,
on.
usually when teams finish in first place, they kind of match up. Like Kansas City, they played in multiple years. That's kind of the way it works. It's kind of the
Yes,
way it works.
and this, come on, this baseball ending with the Minnesota Twins.
I know.
Okay,
Hey, listen, I've already said that. You've repeated what I've said.
I know.
Why don't you talk about you don't want to talk about the Cowboys, huh?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about the Cowboys. Okay, so maybe they
They
may.
suck.
Okay,
Can
maybe
you
they'll
spell
win.
that? SUCK?
They may win one game this year, but it could be the end of Jerry Jones. So maybe it's a good thing.
Wait a
So
minute, he's the owner. It's
I
never
know,
going to
but
be the end of Jerry Jones.
well, if they win one game this year and that's it, okay? So give me a break. Okay. I mean, it's the
Wait a minute,
defense.
you told me they were going to, didn't you tell me they were going to win the division?
Yes, I did. Well, it's not over yet, but I'm just saying this
Okay,
defense.
so we made a bet on that. You already
Yes,
owe
we
me
did.
100%
Well,
already.
we'll just wait till the end. Let's just see what happens. But the way the Eagles keep, luckily, the way they win by luck, and the Cowboys, their defense, I just can't. I can't. This is
Yeah,
just
well, but the Cowboys defense is so
bad. It's
it's
so bad.
awful. You could see when Russell Wilson, who flat out is such a fraud, so overrated, when he rolled it up against him, you knew they were in trouble.
It was just the worst thing to watch. It was just, and then to lose to Chicago, that it was just. I don't know how bad it can be being a Cowboy fan. I don't know how much worse it can be, but I'm not giving up yet. I'm just saying that if you're going to win one game this year and it could be the end of Jerry Jones, then I'm okay with that.
So, do you want a buyout of $75? $75 rather than 100.
No, no, let's just see what.
So then
But
you'll owe me 200 for charity.
but now they're playing Green Bay this weekend, and I see Jordan Love probably having about 600 yards passing, so that's my nightmare.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's just it's a sad state of affairs.
Hey,
And
how do you think? What do you think about this strike zone? The whole strike zone. They're going to be able to
I mean the
challenge
robo
it.
well
Yeah,
the
the
robo
robo.
yeah, you
Yeah.
get two challenges on a computer.
Okay,
So
but
you're
who?
challenging the
Yeah.
computer, which is the most asinine, stupid, ridiculous. They've taken the human element away from the game, and that's brutal, brutal. And I'm going to get into uh, the problems with the game, and some people are going to question me on this. Uh, it's just there's problems with the game. There's too
How
many
do you?
home
But
runs.
but
There's
how do
too many
you?
home runs.
How do they discuss it with the players? Like, okay, well, you get to do it, but you don't get to do it. So how? I mean, I don't understand. Are they going to just
What
wait
do you
to the
mean
ninth
discuss it?
inning? I mean, how are
Well,
Bryce Harper?
they have two challenges unless they win. How do you win against the computer? But you're going to turn around and look at the ump, and you can't argue with the ump because he didn't make the call. The umpire, there's a statue behind home plate because what's he going to? If he gets one decision a game, that's it. Because the decision would be usually a play at the plate or catcher's interference, but that's pretty obvious. That's pretty easy to figure out. It's terrible. All right.
All right.
Well,
Well,
you have a good
I'm
you.
going to the pool. I hope you're never replaced by a computer either. So goodbye, loser.
Yeah, you call me a loser. What a dope. Get the hell out of here. What a dope. Yeah, like I'm a loser. He said the Cowboys are going to win the division. Cowboys are going to be in last place. That's the sad part for him. They'll be in last place. It's just well, I'll get into the baseball thing later. uh, somebody asked, could I send the link again? All right. Somebody just asked, can you send the link again? Can you send the link out to Christopher, uh, the Moose? Wait a minute. You had that link before. Christopher's been a part of the show, but let's take a look at the weekend football. And the weekend football, we'll take a look at it with Marc Lawrence. Mark, good morning. Cowboys fans are the worst and disgusting people on the face of the earth.
To Philadelphians, they are for sure.
Yeah, well, unless you're in Dallas, there's Dallas fans all over, but they know that they're terrible, absolutely terrible. When we get to the pros, I'll ask you. I don't know how you can pick. How can you pick the Cowboys again unless they're getting 3 touchdowns? It's really tough.
You know what the weird thing is, Howard, is lots of times you'll look at games and you'll look at teams playing bad teams and you'll think, well, this is a real letdown situation. And can this good team play down to the level of the bad team? That's what the Dallas Cowboys are becoming, playing down to the level of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think I ever saw that before, but it's happening right now.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at the college, first the college card, the college football this weekend. And this might be the best selection in numbers of college games so far this season. Agree, maybe, or disagree, but there's some good games out there.
Agree, and largely because we're into the conference slate portion of the
Mhm.
schedule, where these games now are good, meaningful, and they're attractive matchups as opposed to what we were dealt earlier on in the month of September.
All right. So who do you like?
I'm going to
Uh,
go inside the Big 12 conference today, and I'm going to use one of my reliable go-tos. Let me down last week, but we're going to go right back to it this week. Underdogs, better offense, better defense, playing with revenge. And I think we can expose these favorites here today. First is going to be Arizona. They're taking 5.5 against Iowa State. And you got a rested Arizona football team here that's been really good in the stats this year. They're coming off a week of rest. They're 4-0 to the spread doing that. Iowa State, the last 4 times they've played teams that have had a week of rest, they've gone 1-3 straight up and against the spread. This is a real nice spot for Arizona to slip in here and leave Ames with a straight up win. I'd like Arizona to win the game.
it's amazing. You don't even relate that they're in the same conference, right?
No, it's hard
I
to do
mean,
that. Yeah.
I know Arizona, which was the Pac 10, 12, 25, 3, whatever it is out there. You don't even relate to that this is a conference game. I don't know how Iowa State fans can look at Arizona as a conference opponent, but they are a conference opponent. It really is crazy. And what's that number? Arizona's getting what?
5.5.
5.5.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now who else do you like?
The other guy, we're going to go to another hard to relate Big 12 underdog, and that's going to be Central Florida. And they're also taking 5.5 against Kansas State today. And there's a little bit of intrigue in this game, rather not just a better offense and a better defense. And they have a great stat behind them when they've been a road dog of 3 or more coming off a win and cover. They're 11-0 to the number. That's what they'll bring to the table here. But what I really like about Central Florida is they lost their offensive line coach, Sean Clark, this week. He passed away.
Mhm.
Young, only 50 years old. He was a former head coach at Appalachian State and really, really well liked by the football program. I have to feel that they will come and play this game and dedicate this. When you call win for the Gipper type games, this will be it for Central Florida coming into this contest. And you got a Kansas State team that they've gone up against 3 other FBS teams this year. They've lost straight up and against the spread against all 3 other FBS teams. I think Central Florida makes a statement this day, and I think they're going to upend Kansas State.
Mark, how much do you look at line movement when you look at games? And I'll reference a game after you tell me how much. I guess you look at it and then you figure out what you try to figure out why. How much do you look at that?
For line movement, you're saying?
Yeah. Do you look at line movements over
Well,
the last couple of
the
days?
first thing I do, honest to goodness, is I'll handicap the game on Sunday night, Monday, and look at it for what it is. Look at the line come Friday and see exactly where it went, and then find out why. What did it go there? Where it's largely injuries. Those are basically the reasons, and the reasons that lines move because of injuries is because all the sharp guys bet the games with injuries because they're looking for value and they think they could get the value because they got the insight on an injury that ends up inflating the line. So I don't let it distract me none whatsoever because it's like the backup offensive tackle on a college football team was the best tackle on his high school team and probably made all state. So it's just plug and play when it comes to college football lines. So I don't let those influence me anything whatsoever. And in fact, if I'm getting more points on Friday than I was on Monday, I'm thrilled.
Okay, so now I asked that question because I saw the line continues to go down on the Notre Dame game. I'm not sure how good or not good, if that's the proper term, Notre Dame is. But that line, I know Arkansas is not a bad team, but that line I think has dropped a couple of points in the last couple of days.
It has. And here's what's going on there, Howard. And it goes on with every one of these situations so far this year. Arkansas is from the Southeast Conference, and they're an underdog. Underdogs from the SEC outside conference play have been automatic go tos, and those have been the line moves you've seen every time, each and every week. Arkansas, dog, Southeast Conference, watch the line move. That's exactly what's happened in this football game.
So, do you like a side in that game?
I like Arkansas. I like Sam Pittman as a head coach. And I think Notre Dame's got some problems here this year, maybe a little bit more defensively than Marcus Freeman has ever had before. And Sam Pittman honestly needs this game as badly as Notre Dame does, if you can believe it. Here's 1-2 Notre Dame. Obviously can't afford a third loss if they want any thoughts at all of making the college football playoff. But you still have to play the game for what it is going in. Give me Arkansas plus the points.
Okay, a game that for a lot of people is probably off the radar, but I don't know how they could be favored on the road. UConn has not really played that well this year. Yet there is Buffalo, and Buffalo wasn't a bad team last year. I don't know what kind of team they are this year. Why is UConn favored by 3.5 at Buffalo?
I think what people do is they look inside the body of work of UConn. They're 2-2, but they won the yardage pretty handily in 3 of those 4 football games. And they know this is a program that was really on the improve since Jim Mora took over. He's got them headed in the right direction here. And Buffalo is a bad team. If you take the St. Francis game out of Buffalo this football season here, they're stark naked, Buffalo is. So that's the reason UConn comes favored in the football contest.
Okay, so when you look at some of these other games, Colorado is not obviously as good a team this year as last year. Do you kind of always look to go the other side when you look at the Colorado game?
Well, I do because of the transition of what happened with all the Sanders clan at the end of the last football season and the fact they lost their Heisman Trophy winning best player. And it's obviously come to a focal point here right now. He's going through quarterbacks like you and I go through change. It's unbelievable. He doesn't know what he has there. I think they got real problems with Colorado here. And I'm not going to be at all surprised if Deion Sanders is not at Colorado next year. He might leave to take what might be a better job or move on to the NFL. But I think this is going to be it for Deion Sanders at Colorado this season.
I think he's down to his fourth quarterback now,
He
right?
is. He's quarterback number 4, QB4.
And
Exactly.
so would you think that BYU is a side this week, even though they're laying 6.5 at Colorado?
It's tough to do, but I would think it is the side because BYU is a pretty good football team and Colorado isn't. So you got 2 teams headed in opposite directions there.
Time changes for teams. There's teams, and I see USC's one of them playing at noon, which is a time change for them on the road. Uh, do you look at that? Do you weigh that into how you look at a football game?
Well, I think the way they gain handicaps, I'm going to love the fade USC regardless. They've gotten off to this name and notoriety start. They look like they're mowing everybody over, but the fact of the matter is Lincoln Riley cannot win a road game to save his life, especially when he's favored in a football game. And you got a real nice situation here coming into this game here today. I'm going to play against Southern Cal really good here today. I think they're going to get the rug pulled out on them.
Yeah, it's just you look at that, and again, the Pac. What are they? Are they still in the Pac-10 or whatever the hell it is? I don't even know what the conferences are anymore.
Southern Cal's Big Ten now.
Yeah, it's just it really is. It really is such a joke. It looked like one other game, and then we'll go to the pros. It looked like South Carolina was a good team to start the season. They're probably still a good team. It's a tough number against Kentucky. Do you like a side in that game?
I like Kentucky in the game. I'm always looking at Kentucky when they're in win situations or underdog roles. And you got a South Carolina team that has really struggled. They've won the yards only one of their four football games. A lot was expected from them. But this is the kind of a game, Howard, where if they win, they go to 3-2. They have a winning record, and all of a sudden the season ends, and here's suddenly South Carolina, a 2 or 3 loss team that everybody's talking about because there's a lot of talent on this football team. But I'm still going to go to Kentucky taking the points against South Carolina, who's still a little bit overrated.
All right, I forgot about this game because the coach sucks, and I try to ignore
Who would
Penn
that
State.
be?
And this is nothing against Penn State alum and Penn State fans. Your coach sucks. All right, he sucks. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Do you like a side in that game since James Franklin is so good against good teams?
You know what's unusual about this game? If you look at it and you like your handicap, you like your side, and then all of a sudden you find these other factors and they add in, and all of a sudden this cake all of a sudden has a lot of whipped cream and icing on it. That's fading Penn State here, this role. And the main reason I'm doing that today is when you find a pair of undefeated football teams that are playing in their fourth game or later, you always go to the underdog. It's been a
Hmm.
really rock solid play. You've got Oregon, the underdog in this football contest. And I know you've probably alluded to this before in the past about how bad James Franklin sucks against quality football teams, against ranked teams. I think this comes down to the better football team, and to me, Oregon's the better football team.
Yeah, see, you like Oregon as a
Yes, I
side,
do.
which even with the whiteout at Penn State tonight, even with the whiteout.
They're like 16-10 overall in their 26 whiteout games, which is a decent number, but it's not overwhelming. That doesn't mean that they're going to obviously be guaranteed a win in a situation like this. Oregon's been there and has done that before, and James Franklin is still trying to get there to the finish line against a good team. I don't think it happens here
It's
tonight
just,
either.
he ought to leave. If he loses this, he ought to leave. I mean, it's a good team, but he just doesn't beat good teams. And
No.
he's playing this game after he's played 3 high school teams and a bye week. It's just, what else do you want? Do you want to play, a team? I went to a Pee Wee football game last week for Piazza, one of my good sponsors, and he might have trouble beating that team. He might have trouble beating that team. He's just got size on him, but that's about it. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the pros. Who do you like?
I'm going to go to a couple of value underdogs here this week against favorites that I think can be exposed here in good situations. The first is going to be the New York Giants, and we're going to take 6.5 in this football game. Uh, in a situation that I think works just perfectly here for the New York Giants, you got a Charger football team that opened the season with 3 consecutive division wins in a row. That's really a rather rare occurrence in the National Football League for the schedule maker to schedule somebody in 3 straight division games and then have them win those games, and then this week have to go cross country, lay points on the road into a team that's making a transition with a quarterback that everybody's geeked up about. I think this is a big spot for the New York Giants here Sunday, and I think the Rams get tripped up, or the Chargers.
Even with the Giants going with the rookie's first start in the
That's
NFL.
what a lot of what I like about the game. This rookie quarterback is for real, Howard. He broke all of Eli Manning's passing records at Ole Miss. This kid could play, and he really overwhelmed the team. Everybody's enamored with him. I think we're going to see a standout performance by Jackson Dart on Sunday.
Okay, so who else do you like?
I'm going to take a look also at Indianapolis. I'm going to take the 3.5 against the Rams, who I think are going to have a very difficult time getting their chin back up off the mat after the game they left Philadelphia with. That I'm sure to a player they felt they should have won the game. One of the worst bad beats of any backer of a Ram football
I
team we
know.
saw last week. But I think it's going to be difficult for the Rams to get up. But the problem here is they're going to take on a Colts team that has a whole new direction. They have a new quarterback in Daniel Jones. This team is 3-0 straight up against the spread and in the stats. So they've won and deserved, like Smith Barney, they've won it, they've earned it, everything they've done, the Colts this season here. I think this is a real terrible spot for the Rams to get back up off of. I like the Colts to win the game and go to 4-0.
Don't you worry about a team that might be in need a little bit coming off a loss, and the Rams a lot project to win that division. Don't you think they're that would figure into it a little bit? Team
I
in
think the
need.
need factor would probably be more applicable if we're talking in December here. A little bit too early in the season, and the Rams know to a player they're a really good football team. And I think like their confidence was really high going into Philadelphia. They left deflated, and I think the deflation is a big handicap in the game.
You know what? The Bears, do you buy the Bears win last week, or because they played such an awful team? The Bears are only a 1.5 point dog at the Raiders. Do you like that game at all?
Well, they did something I don't like teams to do, and that's they win a game and lost the yards. That's hard to do. That was Ben Johnson's first win for Chicago. So was the win as good as the scoreboard said? No, it wasn't. Win by 17 points and get out-yarded in the football game. I don't think that's a good role for them to go into Vegas, who probably comes a little bit hungrier than the Bears do in this football contest here. I'm going to stay at home with Vegas in the game.
You know what? I'm surprised a little bit at the line, but the line's always there for a reason. Cleveland, 9.5 against, or not, a 9.5 point dog against Detroit. I know it's at Detroit. Cleveland played a really good defensive game last week. But 9.5 seems like a lot, but the line's there for a reason. Do you like? I know you don't like to lay those kind of points. Do you like a side in that game?
I can only take. I have this thing that I look at. I'll weigh the team's offenses and defenses after the weeks are complete. Number one defense, National Football League, is the Cleveland Browns. They're allowing less than 200 yards a game, and you're catching Detroit off a very, very huge emotional win, a football game that they wanted to win. They went into Baltimore and won the game. I think it's a nice spot for Cleveland to slip in here. I don't know if they're going to win this game, but I think they can again bring Detroit down to their level, if you will, and cash the ticket.
So do you like that side, or
Yes,
that's
I do.
just you do
Yes.
like that side? You do like Cleveland. All right, and there's another game that obviously is a big game. Two teams in need, and it's the end of the season for Kansas City for a playoffs. I would think if they lose, and Baltimore, it's just their defense. Obviously everybody thought that they'd be better to lose the games the way they're losing. Who do you like in that game?
I have to ask you a question, Howard. What is Baltimore favored in this game for? I don't know if it's name and reputation. Kansas City lost their first two games, but they come back strong. They won the yards solidly the last two games. I think the wrong line is involved in this football game. The wrong team is favored here. I like Kansas City pretty good in the game. And if you look at Baltimore, I ask you why they're favored here. They've been out yarded every game they've played so far this football season here. Their defense has completely disappeared. And now they're going to go on the road into a hungry Kansas City football team. And here's a nice stat. This is an Andy Reid stat that I looked up in my database, and it's pretty neat to Kansas City. Whenever Andy Reid has played a team and Andy Reid's team has not had a winning record and the other team does not have a winning record, Andy Reid in those games is 35-15 against the spread. That's a pretty strong record for Andy Reid in a game like this. Give me
Okay,
the Chiefs.
here's one other thing I'm looking at. Kansas City's offense. The weak part about of Baltimore is their defense. Kansas City's offense has not played well enough. Do you have numbers that tell me I'm wrong
No,
in
you're
that
not wrong.
regard? Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. Their offense has really been MIA. There's no question about it. But because Patrick Mahomes is behind center and they're getting healthier each week, I don't think that's going to be the problem. I think Andy Reid's going to focus on the defense for Kansas City, and that's what's going to win him football games because he knows Patrick Mahomes is behind center and they will always be there to come around and focus on this football team. Get Kansas City now while they're cheap because by the end of the season, come December, they would have been a 2.5 point favorite in this game.
On Monday night, if Miami loses and you're in that area, does the coach get fired 3 seconds after the game's over?
3 seconds on the stopwatch. That's pretty cruel. It could happen. It depends upon obviously, the situation and how badly they lose if they do lose. But it would be to the New York Jets, so there would be no excuses. I know that Mike McDaniel knows he's on the deepest and hottest of hot seats down here. They need a win in the worst of way, but they just don't have it. Howard, he's not a good coach. He's overrated, and I think this could be the end of Mike McDaniel if he doesn't come up big on Sunday.
Do you like the Jets on Monday night?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay. At two Monday night games, the NFL, they've kind of taken away our Sundays. You have a game that starts at, could start at 3 o'clock, and if it's starting at 9:30, I know people get up to watch it because they're playing. We're in Dublin. And now they're going to have, I think in the next 6 years, there's going to be 3 games in Brazil. Like why? Why do they have to do this? It's just brutal. They've taken away the game. We liked all those games. I mean, it was great to see all those
Well,
games.
the answer is obvious. It's all about money.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Absolutely, it is. Now, 2 Monday night games, I give them kudos for one thing they did this year. At least they're not going up against each other like they did before. I could never understand why they would put 2 Monday night games on and have them compete against each other for eyeballs. Now, at least they're 2 separate broadcasts, if you will, games that way, so a person can watch each game individually. That's to their credit. I think they realized the big mistake they had. But when it comes down to the bottom line, the National Football League, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's all about the money.
all right. Eagles, obviously, Eagles in Tampa. At one time, I thought it was a tough game. Tampa has some injuries, but it's still a tough game because Todd Bowles really does a good job against the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. You like a side in the game.
Yeah, I think this is a tough spot for Philadelphia here. I know that they feel fortuitous for the kind of victory they had here right now. The thing that bothers me, and I love statistics to go in with all the history and the handicapping, is the Eagles have still not yet out-yarded an opponent they played so far.
Really?
And they've been out-yarded every game they played, and they have the same persona developing right now that Kansas City's had the last 3 or 4 years. When Kansas City won 17 consecutive one-score games in a row, they were out-yarded in half of those games. It didn't matter; they still won the football games. That's what Philadelphia is doing here right now. One-score games, winning the games, being out-yarded. I don't think this is an ideal situation for Philadelphia to go out and lay points. And for what it's worth, Baker Mayfield has been really good in his career against the NFC East. He's played Philadelphia 4 times. He's beat them 3 times straight up and against the spread. I like Tampa Bay plus the points here.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. The Eagles, they're out thinking themselves with going a day early to get used to the climate. It's been 85 to 90 degrees here. I mean, and it's been humid in the Philadelphia area. I don't know what I sports
There's a
center.
lot to be said for that. There's a thing, biorhythms, and there was a handicapper in my day back in the business. His name was Daryl Bacon, and he handicapped purely by biorhythms and what was up and what was down for players and teams and everything like that. And that's exactly what plays into a game like this. I think you mentioned that the players, they're off their game. They're not used to getting in there a day earlier for situations like this. It's a biorhythm type situation, I think, that works against Philadelphia.
I know, Mark. I know football is what people mostly will bet, but baseball, the people still bet baseball. The odds kind of people say. I saw there was a game last week. It was 280 minus 280, and somebody online said, "Oh, this team, this is an easy one," and they lost. Now you got to win 3 games to make up for your one loss when you have those kind of odds. But my question is, baseball's robo umps. You got to have an opinion. I think it's the most ridiculous, asinine, stupid, unbelievably foolish thing that they're going to do. Your thoughts?
You're talking about being able to appeal a strike on a ball?
Oh yeah. Well, they're going to have a computer
Yes.
a computer called balls and strikes, and then you're allowed to have 2 challenges. Then why did you have a computer? Why can't you have a challenge with a regular umpire if you're going to do that? Your thoughts on
Well, if you're going to have a
robo ump?
computer, why would you have an umpire behind the plate? It'd just be an automatic ball or a
He
strike and
gets
let
a
it go.
signal. He has to be the strike.
Exactly.
He's
But the
going to.
point you bring out here is excellent to me about a minus 280 favorite or $3 or 350, maybe even $4. I wouldn't bet a favorite of $4 in a baseball game if I knew the final score. You cannot put yourself into a risk lose situation like that. And like you say, you lose the game, you have to come back and win 3 or 4 games to break even. Are you kidding me? You have to absolutely totally avoid big favorites in baseball games, especially in the month of September when these teams that have to win are being priced and they're playing teams that are going nowhere.
Yeah. All right. All right. If people have interest in Mark services, 800-321-7777 on the internet, playbooksports.com. It, that game last week for the Eagles. Hey, whether they won the game or not, the bettors that lost the game, it's just Jordan Davis. It was exciting, and everybody was excited, and it was an exciting play to watch. But he did the wrong thing, and I know that was discussed in
I
media.
know Nick Sirianni was asked the question, why didn't Jordan Davis go down? And he says they're trained to do that. but the excitement just caught up with them.
Yeah,
That
right.
had to be a top 10 bad beat of all times watching that football. If you had the Rams, if you had the Eagles, obviously you're ecstatic.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Hey, Mark, have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next
I
week.
would enjoy the games. Be well. Thank
All
you.
right. Take care. Marc Lawrence. It's just, yeah, what bad beat. That was a brutal beat. All right. We'll get you. I see there's some people that want to come on the show, and we are going to get to you. We're going to get to you. I'm going to tell you that two things. The Ryan Howard baseball, which I was going to give away last time, I've extended it another show because when I mentioned the question, and when I mentioned the question, it was for the replay of the show. Answer the question. Go to howardeskin.com. We've already had a few people that submit their answers. We'll select the winner by random. And the show on Wednesday, where I'm going to have Chip Carey, who's the play-by-play announcer, television play-by-play announcer for the Cardinals, used to be with the Cubs for years, knows baseball. We've had him on quite a while ago. We'll talk about the playoffs because I know people want to talk about the Phillies. I'm still not in love with their lineup. But whatever the case, answer the question. We'll announce the winner on Wednesday at 7:30 when we're on X, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube, and it notifies you as soon as we go on live. The winner will be randomly chosen from all correct entries. All right. And I do want to tell you that it's important that you know our presenting sponsor. And our presenting sponsor is just he's a partner. He's become a friend. Jeff Stillwell knows his stuff. If you're looking to try to help make your future better financially in the changing world that we live in, at least for the next 3 years, any any wealth that you have, talk to Jeff about it. Jeff Stillwell at Stillwell Financial Advisors. He really knows his stuff, knows what's going on. Beyond anything that you could do yourself. And he knows as much, if not more, than so many people. Give him a call, 732 343 0813. That's 732 343 0813. And our other great sponsors. And I'm telling you, you waited. I You only have until next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, it's it at Audi Westchester. The sale, I don't want to call it the sale of the century because they're going to have a lot of good things going on at Audi Westchester, and we'll always let you know about them. The Audi Q6 e-tron right now at Audi Westchester till the end of the month. $499 a month is your payment. The Audi Q4, this deal will never happen again. I'm going to tell you right now. $399 a month for the Q4. You'll need $5,295 down for the Q6, $4,156 down for the Q4 plus taxes and registration fees. Stop by Audi Westchester for more details. When I stopped by, and I stopped by yesterday, and I saw, I always stop and talk to the people. And a lot of people, when we talk about a lot of things, there was a husband and wife waiting for their Q6. It was a Q6 that they were ordering. This special offer, they know, and you'll have fun there. You'll have fun. You'll drink a cup of coffee, have some snacks. 1421 Wilmington Pike. Special offer's not going to last long. Tuesday is it. You'll never see this. I say never is a long time, but I would be shocked if you see this offer again after Tuesday on the Q6 and the Q4. Not that the vehicles are really good and the dealership is really good. Stop by. The Q6, $499 a month. The Q4, $399 a month, 2025. Check them out, AudiWestchester.com. And Piazza Property Pros, take care of your property. They can do so many nice things to make your property look nice. You see, they built this, the fire pit, the hot tub, whatever it is, the pool, your landscaping, fencing, whatever it is you need done to help beautify your home outdoors. Piazza Property Pros with 25 years of experience, unmatched, top-notch craftsmanship. They don't subcontract, which is an important thing. Give them a call. Just give them a call. and work within your budget. 610-566-2608 for, and I say free consultation because not all people that do the work they do give you a free consultation. You want to build a pool? Don't hesitate any longer. Give them a call. Piazza Property Pros, 610-566-2608, piazzaoutdoor.com. All right, there's some things that I'm going to talk about. I've touched on the Robo Umps, but let's get to the people. I think they've been holding on. Do we have somebody up there, Joe? Okay, let's see. Chris, are you still there?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Just woke up a little late today, hopped on the phone and saw you were on, so I thought I'd chime in.
Okay, what's up?
Well, not much. I agree with you about the birds. Why did they leave a day early? I mean, we got
They
the
wanted
same
to
weather.
get used to the climate and the temperature and the conditions, but because it's been so warm here in the Philadelphia area, it's not really much of a change. And the thing that I don't think is a good thing, and I think the players have talked about it this week. You take them out of their routine. Now you have today, they'll have a walkthrough and they'll have the whole day in Tampa. But are they going to go outside and get used to the climate? No, they're
Well, it's
probably
the
going to
same.
hang around. They're going to probably hang around the hotel. It's just, it doesn't,
Yeah, it's
to me,
kind of
it doesn't
odd
make any
because
sense. Yeah.
I mean, we have the same weather here. You're right. I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah, and if they don't score a lot of points, people will bitch about the offensive coordinator again, Kevin Patullo. Players make plays, don't make plays. The quarterback's got to make plays too.
Well,
If you
right,
call a play, I mean, he's got the ability to change the play at the line of scrimmage. It's not all about the quarterback making the play. It's about the quarterback executing and the other players, not just the quarterback.
right.
Saquon Barkley has not had the same success. I don't know. It's because a lot of mileage last year. I don't. He's not hurt, but
Yeah,
is the
that's
offensive line not as good this year? I don't know
yeah,
what it
it's
is.
kind of
But
weird.
without the running game, then the passing game doesn't work as
Well,
well
yeah.
for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and something that Mark brought up about the Eagles being out-yarded the last three games. That's kind of interesting because
Yeah,
eventually that's going to catch up to them.
yeah, that's exactly right. So I know you're probably one of the fans and it's sad, and I know what the people, their kids probably hear it, and that's not a good thing. You're probably not a fan of the offensive coordinator, but trust me, it's not his fault.
Well, I
None of it.
mean, he's new, and it's three games into the season, and I'm not inside the meeting rooms. I'm not on the sideline. I don't know what goes on. You only, with the media and what people want to bitch about. So, let's see what happens. All I know is they do need to pick it up on offense, but that's the players got to execute.
Yep.
Um, Now, can the Eagles win down there? Sure, they can, but their offense needs to step it up. They're not going to keep winning 1 point games like this. It's going to bite them in the ass.
Yep. It
And
sure is. It's a tough game. It was a tough game when you saw it on the schedule.
oh yeah,
Tough
and
because
and
because Todd Bowles makes it a tough game.
yeah, and we'll see what happens. I think they can win the game, but eventually they're going to have to lose one. Nobody goes undefeated,
Yeah. No,
and
that
and
ain't happening.
they get the Cowboy Jim there. Is he delusional or what?
What a moron.
Win the
What a moron.
division. I mean, I called.
Well,
I
he
said
called it
all
at the
last.
beginning of the year, but yeah, I knew the Cowboys weren't good.
Oh
It's just
yeah,
Dak Prescott is overrated.
oh yeah.
Good quarterback. Okay, I think he's good, but he's overrated. He's overrated. All right.
There's
It's
people
just
that like to argue with me about he's better than Jalen Hurts. I'm like, give me a break.
yeah. It's really incredible.
I mean,
All
I
right.
knew the. Oh, go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
knew the Bears were going to beat the Cowboys. I said they're going to lose that game. And they're going to lose this week to Green Bay
It's unbelievable.
because they stink.
But Chris, I appreciate you jumping into the show.
Hey, no
Thanks.
problem. Go Birds and go Phils next. When the Phillies, well, they'll probably play what? Probably about a week.
Yeah, about a week. I don't think a buy's a good thing. Oh, they got to buy. Like,
Well, they
so
had that
what?
last year, and look what happened.
I know. It just,
That
I
talk about
still,
routine.
hey, listen, I still don't like their lineup. I don't think Harper should be hitting third. He still is only hitting about 260 ish. And that's where he's going to end up, around 260 ish.
Yeah, he's having a
It,
down year. He's
well,
having a
but,
down year. I mean,
well,
for
but
Bryce.
but he's got 6 years left after this. Is this what we're going to see from here on?
Well, I hope not.
Well, no, nobody hopes. Nobody hopes that that's the case. But
But well, I got you, Kyle Schwarber. He's kind of lifted it up a little bit, not a little bit, a lot.
I don't know how they're going to sign him with the other
Yeah.
players that they got to sign. It'll be an interesting situation because Kyle Schwarber's not opposed to going other places. He's gone to a lot of teams, and
Oh
this
yeah.
is his last contract, and he's got to cash in. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. All
Well,
right,
we'll see
Chris.
what happens.
Have a great weekend, Chris.
All
Take
right.
care.
Yeah, you too, Chief. Have a good
Thanks
day, good
again.
weekend.
Yeah.
Go Birds, go Phils.
It's the king. You're riding with the king. Just remember that. I'll cheap you this. I'm a king. Okay. Let's go with George. Let's see what George has to say. George, what's up?
King of all kings. How are you, brother?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hey,
Never had a
before-
bad day in my life. Bad moments, not bad
I
days.
set myself up for that one. That's the perfect one. I like that.
That's all right. It's all
Been doing
good.
that for years. Hey, you just talked about Bryce Harper. Now, last night do you think was a good sign that Aaron Nola pitched the way he did? Did he solidify the number 4 spot in the playoffs?
He pitched against a team that's 20 some games under 500.
I know.
I mean, stop. Stop.
Can
you judge something off of that?
Well, you're right. I'm trying to think.
I mean, let's relax here. All right. Aaron Nola, I would worry about in the playoffs. Is one game different than what's he had 4 or 5 starts since he's come back at least? Do you judge the one game or the other 4 or 5 starts?
You're right. You're right. So
against a team 20 games, 20 plus games under 500.
Well, with the NFL, I don't like. We've been talking about this. We talked about records and what the Eagles would be after 5 games. I don't start looking at the NFL season until week 5. I mean, that's something. I mean, last year, you know how Eagle fans were. We were all ready to have Nick Sirianni on his head and choppy blocks and everything else. That stat. I didn't know the Eagles were out rushed and out yarded in 4 games.
Three games.
In 3 games. You know what? I'm going to start looking at and get worried next week from going forward because I consider the first 4 weeks preseason for the starters across the league. I just do. I mean, the cream of the crop of the teams will show itself in week 5 going forward. Then start worrying then because we saw in the second half what the Eagles did. Am I one of those fans that's bitching about the offensive coordinator? I did a little bit, but then I saw the second half last week. I was like, wow, there it is. They do have a passing game.
They were forced into that. And I think LA, the Rams probably played a little softer than they had been. But they really should have won the game because when you look, here's an issue that people overlook because of the way the game ended. The Eagles had a 1-point lead, and LA just moved right down the field to set themselves up for a winning field goal they got to like the 25-yard line. That can't happen. That can't happen. Now, you know, when I said people, these morons on social media, the toilet of the internet, it just, they ripped me because I said the Eagles were fortunate. Well, the head coach basically said they were fortunate. I mean, like, what are you looking at here? Hey, they came back and won. That's great. But in reality, you're going to lose 96%, 97% of the time when those things happen.
Look at the field goals the Rams got. I thought the head coach of the Rams were pretty conservative. They got field goals in the first half where there should have been one drive. I'm like, man, that's going to come back and bite them. This is for the touchdown. That's going to come back and bite them right there.
All right, I'm going to ask you one other question, and you probably don't even give a damn. The Sixers.
Oh my God. I just talked about that with a friend of mine today. I could care less. Sell the team, please. Sell it.
You know,
Josh Harris
between trying not to fall asleep between Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey, who basically said nothing. Oh, we're just going to play fast, and sometimes we're going to have to play because the league plays with guard lineups, and it doesn't matter. And the Joel Embiid question, he didn't answer it. He's going to be monitored. He's going to keep an eye on it. You know, nobody answered whether they believe he's going to be ready for the start of the season. And Jared McCain, this guy, it's too bad. He's injury prone. A UCL tear in his thumb.
Correct.
That's got to put you out. It's got to set him back, but you got to worry about injuries. I don't think he fits into their lineup anyway, especially when they draft, Edgecom. When they drafted him, you have too many guards. And if you're going to play a 4-guard lineup, well, it's just when Paul George gets hurt, when Paul George doesn't play, maybe you ought to play a guard at center when Embiid doesn't play. It just the Sixers are so boring, and to listen to those people,
Howard,
and it's brutal.
I'm a Penn State guy. I was going to get to that before I let you go. I'm with this, as I am with Penn State. I am with the Sixers until the management get. Daryl Morey's a fraud. The owner, just go down and duel your football team. You own the Devils. The Devil fans are going to find out what he's made of because he'll destroy that team. I don't want to hear.
He only cares about Josh Harris. Really, his interest is in his football team.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
and that's his interest. All he cares about with the Sixers, because they're greedy too, is to make money. That's all they care about, is to make money. Well, and I'll bring this up. They're going to Dubai for the preseason. Now, I don't know that that's all their choice. They probably have to agree to it somewhat. They're going to Dubai for money. It's preseason. You're not even going to play anybody, but it doesn't matter. I tell you that Saudi Arabia has so much money.
Hey, does Saudi Arabia have a football team that could schedule Penn State?
Well, we'll worry about that at another time. But it's funny.
He's 4-20. Franklin's 4-20 against top 10 teams. My friends know I'm a Penn State guy, and I said,
"Hey, listen, they ought
4-20.
They ought to just march on the university peacefully. If James Franklin loses this game, march on the university to get him out of there." Hey, George, I appreciate you jumping on. Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Let me just continue. Take care on Dubai. I don't know that Joel Embiid's going to make the trip, because if he's not going to play, you're going, I'll get better. He should make the trip, but he doesn't want to go on the trip. I'm sure he'd rather stay home and, get his training, his rehab. He does it at home. They have a guy come out to his house, which is a complete joke. He's better than the other team, and he shows he thinks he is, and they allow him to be that way. That's not good team chemistry, that he has some of that done at his home. As a chef come to his home. I mean, it's just, you got to be kidding me. But we'll see if Joel Embiid makes the trip. I'm guessing he won't, because he doesn't want to, but we'll see. I think that's a total farce. And let's go to, is Tony still there? Hey,
Hi,
Tony.
Howard.
Tony, turn the lights on, Tony.
Well,
there you go. There you go. We can see a little. The less we see is probably better anyway. But go ahead. What's up?
Hey, Robin Roberts. Nola just broke his record there for strikeouts.
What's
Did you
that?
see? No, Aaron Nola just broke Robin Roberts the strikeouts. Did you see that last night?
No.
1,872 strikeouts. He's all time right behind Steve Carlton. Carlton has 3,000.
Yeah, he's never going to get to. Carlton is the real gauge.
Right.
Is that a big deal, Tony? Is that a big deal to you?
Well, I would think it's a big deal that he, for him, just to, I mean, his real big deal is to win the championship, right?
Yeah, it's in strikeouts for his career. I mean, for his career, how many more seasons did he play? I'm gonna check this. How many more seasons did he play for the Phillies than Robert? Or how many more games? Because they changed the number of games. All right. So in his career, Aaron Nola's got 11 years with the Phillies. He's played in let me see how many games he's pitched. Games 285. All right, 285 games. All right, now let's check Robin Roberts. I could probably go to my artificial intelligence woman and get all this stuff much easier, and maybe I'll have her compare it after I'm done with you. But for you to bring that up is just, Tony. I like, really? Hold it. Yeah, I got the wrong Robin Roberts here.
One with the golf club, the golf course.
Uh, 529 for Robin Roberts. Wow. Okay. So he had more games. How many innings did he pitch? Do you see that? And Nola has how many? Joe's helping me out here. Okay. All right. So, yeah, but he's got about half as many. I don't know that Robin Roberts was a great pitcher. I don't know that he was a strike. I don't know that the guys had as many strikeouts back. I don't even know. That thought wouldn't even come to my mind. It wouldn't even come to my mind. But what else do you got for us, Tony?
So on the Eagles, I think they're about to break out now. They
You
had
think
a
so,
lot
huh?
of yeah. I mean, they had a lot of just one-run games, and with that blocked field goal from Davis, that really lifted things up. I mean, they had their heads down like, oh, we're going to lose on this field
I
goal.
don't know the last time that a team blocked 2 field goals in one game. And I don't think that last field goal was going to be good. It's kind of interesting. When I watched it from the end zone angle, it looked like he kind of shanked it a little bit into where Jordan Davis was actually coming through the line of scrimmage. Not that Jordan Davis didn't do a good job of blocking. He did a great job blocking the thing, but it looked like it was a little low and he kind of shanked it a little bit. But whatever the case may be,
But it's
that
like a
rarely.
momentum thing now. It's it kind of built their character more now. And now the defense is,
Hey, listen,
you
they had
know,
great character. They have great character. I don't
why
know that
not?
they needed to build their character. You're reaching now, Tony. You're
Well,
reaching.
let's see what happens
All
this
right.
week. I
All
really
right.
think they're
I
gonna.
hesitate to ask this. What do you think of the Robo Umps, Tony?
The Robo umps, I think that's garbage. I mean, what's it going to come to if if the batter walks? Are you going to bring out a Waymo
I
to take him
know.
to first base?
It's a
You
joke.
know.
It's a joke. All right. Hey, Tony, thanks for joining the show. Take
All
care.
right,
Have a great
King.
weekend. All right. See you later. You're riding with the king. The Robo Umps, there's so many things wrong with what's going on in baseball. They're taking away the human element for the game. Robo ump, so you have a computer, so the umpire stands there, strike, ball, strike, ball. He probably has some kind of thing in his ear that lets him know what the pitch was. The batters can't argue with the ump because the ump had nothing to do with it. The managers can get thrown out if they argue with the ump, but they yell from the dugout, but you lose that emotion. You've taken away the emotion at the bases because it's instant replay. Can't really argue with the ump because you just go to instant replay anyway. You can instant replay the ball and strikes twice a game, and if you win a challenge, you get that one back. What are you doing? Are you going to put robots out there as players? Analytics has hurt the game. There's too many home runs in the game. I say too many. This is ridiculous. I checked it before the show. Where did I write the number? This year, right now, with only 2 days left, 5,792 home runs. It's up 12% from last year, where it's 800 more home runs than last year. Over 800 more home runs than last year. Now, it's great. Oh, everybody loves the long ball. The bats are harder. The balls are juiced. No question. They've juiced up these baseballs. They've pressed the bats so hard. That's why you rarely see a broken bat anymore. Rarely. I heard about the torpedo bats early in the season when they changed the size of the top of the bat. Still the weight is the weight, but they said there was nothing illegal about it. I think they're really, really hurting the game by what they're doing. Really hurting the game. And the robo umps, I think, is a complete joke. What the human element is gone. Forget it. The human element's gone. Let's baseball is really kind of a joke. Really kind of a joke. Really kind of a joke. But whatever. Baseball was a great game. Was a great game. I see Mark says the Phillies will win the World Series. Mark, are you in the same world I'm in? Are you in the same world? We're going to have Chip Carey on Wednesday, and I have a different perspective of the Phillies and the playoffs. Chip is the uh, play-by-play television announcer for the Cardinals with the Cubs for many years. Grandfather Harry Carey. We'll have him on Wednesday to talk about it. All right, the question from the last show for the Ryan Howard baseball. The question was, I want to ask it again because I forgot to ask it during the first running of the show. Uh, James Brown did all professional sports at a network level. What uh, did he think was one of the most difficult interviews in hockey? In hockey, uh, he mentioned two people he thought was a really difficult interview. And submit your answer to my website, howardeskin.com, and we'll have a winner of the Ryan Howard baseball on the show, our next show on Wednesday with Harry Carey, with Chip Carey, not Harry Carey. It'd be hard to have Harry Carey on with Chip Carey. All right, there is something that happened in baseball this week, which shows you. First of all, let me just tell you, I will post my picks, and we donate. The money goes to your donations for the picks. Brandywine Valley SPCA, Providence Animal Center. They really appreciate how supportive you are. In you make a donation for the picks when I post them, and that money goes to those two great foundations. Providence has a adoption event coming up very soon, and I'll let you know. Brandywine has them as well. But I gave you the question. All right, what happened in baseball this week? Cal Raleigh, and if he doesn't win the MVP, they're going to be. I think it's a farce. It's just. He's got 60 home runs. He's a switch hitter. 60 home runs, and he's a switch hitter. And Seattle won their division. I know people have this, and Aaron Judge is a great ball player, but he's not the MVP. He's not the MVP. Cal Raleigh is. And if Cal Raleigh doesn't win it, it's a shame. And there should be an investigation. But there was a fan that caught the 60th home run. And the fan, obviously in the outfield, if he caught the home run, gave the ball to a kid. Here's the fan you see there on the left, caught the home run ball, saw a kid in the stands, and this little guy right here saw a kid in the stands and gave him that ball, which was Cal Raleigh's 60th home run. Both of those two people got to meet Cal Raleigh after the game. Seattle Mariners did a great job bringing him down. But that ball, some people estimate in the world of values for balls, is worth between $100,000 and $200,000. I don't think the kid's going to sell it, but because he's so excited, that's a ball he could sell it years from now if that's what he wants to do. But how about that fan? And I remember that brutal woman. Oh my God, what an awful woman who whined at the Miami Phillies game that she deserved the baseball from a guy, got the baseball and gave it to his kid. It's just, but this guy, what a nice gesture by this guy. And let me just clarify the question. It was his toughest interview in figure skating when he covered figure skating, James Brown. The toughest interview he had in figure skating. All right. And that's the question. Submit it to my website, howardeskin.com. All right. And as we leave you today, Phillies get a bye week, and get the bye, a first round bye, which I don't know is always a good thing. But we'll talk about baseball on Wednesday night with Chip Carey. And thanks to Joe Gangemi for being the production end of this. Thanks for Tony Anastasia for doing all the graphics and all the good things that she does for this show and for my website. And you have a great Saturday as you listen to this live. Have a great week and have a great day. And you have been riding with the king. And thanks for joining us.